The new leader of the National Party is pro-life, is Christian, and the media went into overdrive. Let's check it out. So Christopher Luxon is the new leader of the National Party. He is a Christian. He has voted against, or well, is opposed. He hasn't actually had the vote in Parliament because he's only come into Parliament, but he is against abortion. He is against euthanasia. He is against legalisation of cannabis. He also voted against the extreme ban on conversion therapy. And of course, that means that he is target for the media because if a leader stands up and they are atheist, agnostic, any other faith, they're generally not asked about it and how it affects their values. But if they're Christian, it's one of the first questions. And on cue, at the first press conference of the new leader, Christopher Luxon, that was the first question coming out, not from Tova, but from Jessica.
Does religion play in your life, and what part will it play in your leadership?
Yeah, look, I really appreciate the question because, to be honest, that is something that my faith has been often misrepresented and portrayed very negatively. And what I can tell you about is that my faith is actually something that has grounded me. It's given me context and put me into context, something bigger than myself. But I want to be very clear. We have separation between politics and faith. People shouldn't be selecting an MP because of their faith, and they shouldn't not be selecting an MP because of their faith. It's important that everyone understands I am here to represent all New Zealanders, not just people of one faith or one interest. And that's no different from any other MP or leader that's in this Parliament as well.
Yeah, well, that's a good response. I mean, I'm not sure about the separation of politics and faith because the fact of the matter is it does influence your decisions, your votes. But that question is never put to someone who is not a Christian. It's not asked to any other faith. It's not asked to someone who's atheist or agnostic as to how their values are going to influence. In fact, I had a look at the first interview of Jacinda Ardern when she became leader of the Labour Party in 2017. And I watched the first press conference and nothing about her ex-Mormonism or her atheism or wherever she's at. We don't really know. So the media aren't that worried about it. They're more interested in what the process that came about and what values she brings to being leader of the Labour Party. But, you know, the media have been panicking about the fact that Chris Luxon is a Christian. And so Radio New Zealand already back in March talked about his religious views, turning off middle ground voters because apparently middle ground voters are all atheists and don't like those values, apparently. And then as soon as he became leader, Radio New Zealand wanted to discuss abortion and his attitudes to gay therapy. They were panicking a little bit, but then of course it was okay because the deputy leader is a centrist moderate perspective, brings that centrist moderate perspective. And that's all okay because remember the leader is bad, conservative, Christian. One News as well was also talking about the fact that the deputy leader was going to be more of a moderate. And so in effect, what you've got is this, not this recognition that the deputy leader is perhaps on the left of the party and is pro-euthanasia, pro-abortion, pro-extreme bans on conversion therapy. No, it's all about where Chris Luxon is at because he is a Christian. And so then it was off to some of the TV interviews and the same line of questioning, this time from Ryan Bridge on the AM show.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about your religion and the are you anti-abortion? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think all it is. I'm a pro-life person, so I don't support abortion or euthanasia or the death penalty.
Do you think it's murder? Do you think abortion's murder?
Yes.
Well, look, I hold a view that it's a pro-life decision. If you look at my colleague and my friend Nicola Willis, she has a pro-choice decision. I think the reality is there are New Zealanders that have those views, pro-life or pro-choice. But actually we can hold different views and be respectful of each other as a consequence.
I know, but it's quite an extreme view to think it's murder.
No, not really, Ryan.
No, I'm not going there, to be honest, Ryan. I just have a view that I'm just pro-life. That's all it is. It's as simple as that.
Can you, because this is going to, I'm sure it's going to keep coming up. You know, those on the left and the media and whatnot will keep talking about it. So can we take this off the table this morning? Can you just say you won't touch abortion laws while you're Prime Minister?
Absolutely. That was settled in the last Parliament, and that's settled.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. I mean, you don't take anything off the table. Everything is on the table. And in fact, as we speak in the Supreme Court, the Roe v. Wade case is being reviewed. So it's disappointing for Chris Luxon to give that concession because it should always be on the table, and especially as a pro-lifer. There was a fascinating admission there by Ryan Bridge. Did you hear it? Let me just play that little excerpt to you.
This is going to, I'm sure it's going to keep coming up. You know, those on the left and the media and whatnot will keep talking about it.
Those on the left and the media will keep talking about it. I mean, the admission is that the left and the media are in cahoots together, which is probably why the Green Party and the Labour Party get a fairly decent ride. But it was the fact that it was the admission that the left and the media are obsessed with this issue. And most other people, middle New Zealand, are not concerned about it. It's a fascinating admission. Watch it again.
This is going to, I'm sure it's going to keep coming up. You know, those on the left and the media and whatnot will keep talking about it.
There we are. There's your admission for the day. That's your little gold nugget. So Chris Luxon was then off to another Newshub interview, and once again, the same line of questioning.
You didn't say on the AM show this morning whether you thought that abortion is tantamount to murder. Could you clarify that? Do you
Well,
think
what I
abortion
want to
is
say,
tantamount to
no,
murder?
I'm not going to talk about it, because all I'm saying to you is I have a pro-life view. Nicola actually has a pro-choice view. The two of us actually represent views that are held by different New Zealanders, New Zealanders across the country. But the key thing is we should actually just say, we should be able to, we've got a common set of values, and fundamentally we can respect each other's position without having to make it a major issue.
Totally. But can you just answer the question whether you think abortion is tantamount to murder or not? That's a yes or no question. That should be pretty easy.
I'm a pro-life person,
So yes.
That's what a pro-life position is. And so I think fundamentally, pro-life, I've got a pro-life position. I don't really want to, go into it too detailed because the issue has been settled in the last Parliament. And I frankly would say to you, this is not an issue that has been settled, and we're moving forward, and really there are bigger issues for New Zealanders to get focused on.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been settled, and we'll continue to fight against it, but he is right that most New Zealanders are not obsessed about it, and as Ryan Bridge, the colleague, said on Newshub, it's only the left and the media. Just a quick note to Luxon and any other leader that's asked that question about are you saying it's murder? Say back to the reporter, can you define murder? And when the reporter says it's the taking of life, reply, okay, abortion is murder. Next question. Okay, just a little bit of media advice there. Anyway, just to finish off with something positive, because on the 6 o'clock news on Newshub last night, there was that interview that you just saw where there was this attack on Christopher Luxon and his views that perhaps the unborn child is life and abortion takes that life. And there was this beautiful story as part of the later news that I just want to play you. Have a watch.
When Curtis Means was born, the tiny bundle of joy arrived early at 21 weeks, 1 day. Just 11 inches long, he weighed less than a pound. The newborn and his twin had less than a 1% chance of survival.
What's going through your mind?
I just had to keep faith and keep on praying.
1 day later, his sister Ciasia passed away. Curtis was so fragile, he spent 9 months in the ICU.
He spent more time in the ICU than he did with you.
And his mother, Michelle, had to wait weeks just to hold him.
What did it feel like to finally be able to hold your son after 1 month?
I actually started crying.
Curtis defied the odds with the help of miracle worker Dr. Brian Sims.
When did you know that he was a little fighter?
First breath. It was an amazing transition watching him get stronger and stronger. And then the attitude he had from day one, he really was a character.
At 16 months, Curtis is happy, healthy, and a Guinness World Record holder. Not just for being adorable, but as the most premature baby to ever survive.
My baby boy, my miracle baby.
Proving again, big things really do come in small packages.
Isn't that a fantastic story? And it's so ironic that that was shown on the same news bulletin as the story that attacks Chris Luxon because of his view of the unborn child being a life. 21 weeks and 1 day. And that's the problem for the media, is that the Christian values are backed up by science. And so they're always going to be seen as a threat by the media. And you know what? I think we just need to stiffen our spines and keep speaking out for what is true and right, based on science and the importance of the unborn child.